One of the things that I thought we could start with for professional development for teaching courses online is to look at some best practices that have been established by different college professors and high school teachers who have to teach their courses online. So one of the things that we kind of need to begin with is this section down here, where we're able to actually help students by doing things like breaking the lesson into smaller chunks, making sure that they have a suggested maybe pattern to follow of when should you be working, what are some suggested checkpoints that you should be completing, and when do these things ultimately need to be turned in for review. Another thing is to make sure that you're specific with your expectations for online participation. This includes the ways that you want them to communicate with you via email, perhaps basic netiquette. So if you're doing videos, if they are filming like a Flipgrid, where should they be, what should that look like, and what do you want them to include? And then if there happens to be any technical support you can provide just through your own trial and error, that's fantastic. If not, you can always refer them to the help desk, who will still be available to assist students in their technology issues. Another thing that they suggest is to make sure that the activities they're completing are real world. So we're going to start noticing that it's very important that we're motivating our students by showing them a connection to what they're learning and what's going on around them. It's going to be very easy for students to disengage if this piece isn't there. Another piece that's really important is just to have an instructor presence. So make sure that you are communicating with them early and frequently. So post announcements, make sure you're showing your own appearances on videos, not just rolling out videos that you find on YouTube that may be good, but also you want them to still be able to connect with you and be a part of their discussions and their feedback. And then make sure you're showing your personality too. You can share some of your experiences and your passions and your expertise, but you still want to be able to try to have and build that relationship with the students that you've taught. Another thing is to make sure that you've got some clear expectations. So things by not just jumping in and passing out work, but giving clear assignment directions. Obviously, those dates need to be pretty rigid or understand that they may shift as time goes along. Another item is to really focus on the learning objectives. So you've got to make sure that your content, coursework, and your objectives and assessments are all tied together. So if you're giving extra content, make sure that it is supporting the ultimate goal, so that we're not just providing busy work, and then it can really help them lead to a deeper understanding of the content that you're asking them to learn about. Another is prompt feedback. This is going to feel probably overwhelming at the beginning because this is new for everybody. We're used to just walking around our classrooms and giving feedback as we see it, calling up students if they need help. And on this, you're really going to have to seek out their work, read through it, and then as quickly as possible try to provide that feedback to them with specific things that they can use to improve. One of the things you can also start considering is having them pair up with another student and asking that student to provide feedback, and then they can make those revisions so that you're seeing a more polished piece of work and not maybe their first draft. Another piece is to make sure that you're engaging these students. So you have to have these quality interactions just like you do in the regular classroom. Any teacher that stands up in front of the class and just presents information without connecting isn't usually incredibly effective. So we need to make sure that the educational experiences that we are giving to the kids are challenging, but not enough to where they're shutting down. It just needs to be able to enrich and extend their academic abilities. And then make sure that you're giving them opportunities to interact with their friends through discussions and group work. One of the things that I know my own daughter is struggling with, and my son right now, is they've got a lot of friends and they are not able to see them or interact with them on a daily basis. And so this will provide an additional sense of normalcy for them, and it will again make them feel like they're part of a connected community. So those are a couple tips that the professors that teach college courses and even high school courses, they see as being necessary in order to have an impactful online teaching and learning experience.